Hey, Lip Nation, Kevin Hale here. Hope all is well. Here is episode 344 in its entirety, exclusively for our YouTube subscribers. 5 great segments on this show. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy them. As usual, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, shooting from the lip. We are also on YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Check us out, like us, follow us, please, and thanks. Enjoy, everyone. Peace out. All right, guys, rolling around on this Tuesday night. We're back here at Baxter's 942 here in the Highlands. Going solo tonight. My man Eric McEwen is doing his own thing tonight. He's going to be actually off for the next few weeks, so I'm going to either be by myself or I'll have a.
You're looking for a co-host,
or I'll have a right. Or need a co-host. So yeah, we'll have to. I think we'll maybe figure it out. Yeah, definitely. Joining me tonight, first segment of the night, Mrs. Kristie Crenshaw. Say that 3 times, Kristie Crenshaw.
Kristie Hicks Crenshaw. I call him.
You say
Hicks is the maiden name.
I think you need the Hicks to help.
It's the maiden name, and it's how most of the people who know me first. Okay. And I'm from a small town in Bardstown, so if you say, "Oh, that Hicks daughter," she's one of the 6 kids. She's one of the
Harold
6
and
Hicks. Margaret. So,
well, see, then you're going to go one of the 6 Hicks. So I'm tongue-tied there too.
I'm sorry.
So. Kristie Crenshaw.
Yeah, you can call me KC for short if you'd like.
Or Kate. Okay, Kristie Hicks Crenshaw. Kristie, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
We, in my quest to bring on guests for our show, and this is, our show likes to be an eclectic mix of personalities, of topics, and I'm somehow, some way, I found you on my news feed and just looked at what you were doing, and I thought, with Me Too, with this whole empowering of women, great topic. Great guest.
And go. Right.
Tell me about you.
My day job, I'm an account manager for Topps Louisville Magazine, and I want to give a quick disclaimer. The opinions expressed by me are in no way a reflection of Topps management or staff.
I will try to run that on the bottom.
Please do. Little scroll, little B-roll for me. I do like working for the magazine because they only publish positive things. They're focusing on things that are cool and hot and happening, and it's got a very positive, uplifting feel to it. That I'm really, really excited about. My side gig is coaching women on clarity and creativity, getting clear on what you want, creative on how to get it. I'm pretty good with strategy once we nail down what the objective is, and a lot of women don't, and women are just my target market. I don't want to work with dudes, sorry. But it's the language I speak. I get them. We've been through shared experiences.
I had to beg for her to give me time.
Well, but a lot of women might be miserable, or they might be really happy. Like they got good marriage, good job, their kids are doing well in school, everybody's healthy, but there's still something that feels missing to them, and they don't know what it is. I think we often all, in the pursuit of obligation, we have things that we have left unpursued, that we haven't explored, that are part of who we are, like naturally. When you look at the things that you did as a kid that you played with, whether it was a Rector set or you painted or you were great with the neighborhood animals, it's usually a little inkling of kind of what your main thing is.
So for me, the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, what would be, your quick assessment?
Again, I'm not working with dudes, so I can't really speak to that. Fine. I can refer you to someone who works with dudes. But for me, it's I like that one-on-one with someone, and I do some small groups as well, but helping someone tap into something they already have. I mean, literally, it really is Dorothy and the Ruby Slippers. She had the answer all along to get home. We all have it. We just have to kind of uncover it because we've smothered it with, things our parents said, and, things our siblings impressed upon us, and what society tells us we should be. And we get kind of lost and trapped and caught up in the shoulds instead of what could be for us. And I like to look into the possibility of that.
CLC.
Yeah, Creative Life Curator.
How did this all come about?
I have worked with life coaches myself in the past. Laura Wagner is a local coach that I have worked with in the past. I've worked with Jennifer Blair, Stacy Smith. I'm currently working with her from a business standpoint. Stacy was trained by Brooke Castillo, who has the model. And that is something that is, I believe, brilliant. It works in nearly any scenario. I just want to give her credit for creating this. I did not. But coaches are great, but curator is specific. You know, a zoo has a curator, a museum has a curator, and things are very specifically chosen to create an overall aesthetic or an overall feel or a vibe. Why don't we give that much attention to what we put in our own lives to create that same feeling? The way your home is laid out, or what you do for a living, how you interact with people, simple as the colors you choose to dress in, what you might do for a hobby, or what nonprofits you might choose to align yourself with because it feels really good. I think if we spent a little more time exploring what really means something to us, then it's not about having to find, you know, the ultimate passion and get paid for it. I don't think that's always the answer. You can work a normal job and still explore lots of other creative opportunities for yourself that are very fulfilling, that give back to society, and that make you feel alive. And that's a good thing.
When you're talking to women these days, coaching or in your workshops, what seems to be the go-to as far as having to, you find yourself, I don't know, maybe constantly addressing, or
I think a lot of women feel like they have to do it all, and they have to do it all at once, and you can't. You can't. You just can't. You cannot balance everything. It's impossible.
married? Do you
married, single? I don't think. I don't want to separate that, because I mean, before anyone was a married person, she was a woman. She was a girl. She was a little girl with dreams. I don't think it's necessary to relinquish all of that to become a fulfilled professional woman and a wife or a mother. We can take pieces of that with us, but I feel like a lot of that is we bring it on ourselves, because no thank you is a full, complete sentence. So people ask us, can you, would you, do you mind if? And we're like, okay, sure, yeah, And you're just smiling away like a Stepford wife, like it's all going to be brilliant and easy, and it's not. And it's okay to say no. Thank you for thinking of me. And that's it.
What? Go ahead.
No.
No.
Yeah, I did. Well, the feeling thing, I think I touched on this earlier today when I was doing a quick little promo for this. Our feelings affect the way we act. Our actions affect our results in our life. And when someone says, she made me feel, or he made me feel, they are giving away all of their power in that moment. And that's part of what this whole model that Brooke Castillo teaches, is that, our circumstances are neutral. What we think about that's on us. Right. And what we think about it creates a feeling, again, on us. I own my feelings. Those feelings are going to drive my actions, which will provide my results. Now, if I say, Kevin made me feel a certain way, then I am taking away any possibility of me changing the way I feel, and therefore creating a different result for myself. So if we take that notion and plug it into our life, whether it's not getting along with a coworker, vying for a promotion, wanting to try salsa dancing, hitting the gym again, whatever it is, we've got the power there. I'm not a victim anymore. That's what I would like for women to do, is to stop being a victim. And it's not about someone else giving them power or empowering them. They have it. They just have to choose to use it. Some
of that, though, is that the leader versus follower mentality, too? Because my thing is that with people, maybe in this case women or anybody, you become, to a degree, like the company you keep. And...
Yes. I think it's incumbent upon us, when we learn something new, we should share it. Right. But you should never be the smartest person in the room. You should always look to surround yourself with people that challenge you, that make you think a little differently, that make you stretch and grow. And all of those things will never occur without some form of discomfort or pain. And that's just life. I mean, think about it. A 14-year-old boy going through growing pains in the summer for a growth spurt, it hurts. But is that not for the betterment of him, for his growth and future potential? Anyone who's I've got 50 pounds to lose. I've just talked to a trainer the last couple of days, reworked my nutrition, getting ready to hit the gym again. I am 46 years old. Am I looking forward to this? No. Is it going to be brutal? Yes. It is absolutely going to hurt. But it's for my health, my future performance, my future longevity. With pain and discomfort comes that getting over to the other side.
It starts with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and until you can find something within you to set that in motion, or whether it's mentally, physically, to.
And sometimes people need a little help along the way, and that's what a coach is for. There were times when I couldn't wrap my head around my own possibility, and I needed someone to remind me, hey, you've got this. I'm gonna walk you through this. I'm gonna help you, and that can take a lot of stress and pressure off of a person to know that they have someone that they're not related to, that doesn't know all their family secrets, to kind of help guide them through that process.
With CLC services, jump in. Tell us what kind of services.
I'm going to be launching one-on-one coaching very shortly, like in the coming week or so. I will probably do, if you'll go to Facebook, go to Creative Life Curator, click like, stay aware of what's going on there. I will be doing a free webinar so you can get a little more time with me on camera and how I teach and how I work through something. That might be a nice idea for someone, but primarily starting out, I'll be doing one-on-one coaching, and then I have some group programs that I'm developing as well. Tea and conversation. I love high tea. I'm a girl and I love it. But, tea actually began as a form of sustenance for the working man who would pull up to a high table, eat a quick sandwich, a little hot tea, get back to work. Well, then the royals decided to, make it a little more civilized. Let's sit down and have a conversation and linger. And I feel like for women, our female friendships are part of that sustenance that keep us going. So I'll be doing a program like that. And then I have another very special program called Dry Dock that I'm working on. It's for women that have gone through miscarriage. And that's going to be a longer program that I'll unveil later this year. So there's that.
I'm looking at.
Have you had this much estrogen at the table in a while?
This is healthy for me.
That's good.
I'm looking at your services too. There's this thing called wedding officiant.
Oh, right.
What's up with that?
Well, my niece Brandy was getting married, and I became a minister with the Universal Life Church to perform the wedding of her and her.
So you had that. You have those powers too.
Yeah. So I married Brandy and Chad Rimsey. A little shout out to them. One of the things that I will be doing, I've recently become a member of the board for Heiser Hearing Institute and the Deaf Oral School here in town, which is amazing. And I, as a board member, you are required to invest some of your own money as well as raise money for them. So I will be doing wedding services for donations to Heiser. That'll be coming down the pike as well. Not taking any this month because it's just too hot. But in order to do that, I need a donation to Heiser. My husband gets to come with me, and there must be cake.
The husband. Let's give a shout out to the husband too.
The husband, Brooks Crenshaw.
There he is.
My favesies.
Can you just lean in? You're going to say hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
like,
yeah.
hi.
You can see that here. That's the hand. The hand of.
Yeah.
If we can
shift gears
a little bit, I want to throw out some topics that are national.
Hit me. Go ahead.
Hashtag Me Too. You being
female and all,
being on that side of the fence. What has been your take on that? Because a lot of it, if I'm following the national scene as well, a lot of this really got going with Hollywood, the fallout there. But what's been your take on it?
Well, I personally think I would be hard pressed to find a single female that had not been in a situation where she was put upon in a way she should not have been, either verbally, sexually, physically. But I feel like the movement as a whole, and it's just my personal opinion, that it is too broad sweeping. You have on one end of the Me Too movement someone who dealt with catcalls while she was pumping gas. And then you have on the other end of the spectrum someone who was brutally raped.
There was a physical
in
trauma.
that,
right, yeah.
You do a disservice to both the man who did the catcall and the woman who was raped. You overemphasize, overdramatize.
True.
what he has done, and you mitigate and minimize what she has been through, and that is a disservice. I don't know what the answer is, but I think, again, it falls back to the owning your own feelings. If someone says something to me inappropriate, I can choose to be offended, or I can choose to recognize that he's an idiot. You know, and him saying something really stupid doesn't make me a bad person, doesn't make me, you know, like I asked for it. Doesn't matter what I'm wearing. In fact, there's a brilliant art exhibit that was, I think it's called What She Wore, because that's often a question asked in court. And it had the clothing of various rape victims nailed to the wall so that you could see what they were wearing. And it's not always, you know, sexy lingerie.
Actually, stay, okay, fair point, but stay there, because I'm, you know, when it comes to, you know, stuff like any type of assault too, I'm hearing, you know, some of the conversation, I guess this actually is more echoed now because of the Me Too thing, just the types of things that women are being subjected to, or, you know, are they in a, you know, are they are at fault because they dressed the way they did, or, you know, this and that. Yeah.
That's a tough one too. If you dress to elicit a sexual or sensual response from one designated person, perhaps the person that you have intended affections for, but you happen to get it from others, that is a risk that you run. I don't know the answer to that. But I think, you know, if you wouldn't wear it in front of your mom and dad, don't, is probably a good rule of thumb. If your mother wouldn't let you walk out of the house in that, don't do it.
Yeah, and without offending, I would just straight up, because you go into, you know, we're at a bar, though granted it's quiet now, but you there's, you know, nights you'll come in, and a lot of women will walk into a bar knowing that.
Right. You know, and, you know, there are women in the feminist movement that would be furious with me for saying that, because, again, it's making someone else responsible for the way I feel, or being responsible for someone else's actions. If I was standing here buck naked, I should not be held responsible for improper actions of someone else. But
we've never had a buck naked guest on the show,
and that's the only reason I agreed to be on.
Okay.
But
she's out of control.
Sorry. No, I mean, it's that is a very touchy subject. But, you know, men are typically visual, and it's not fair. It's not fair. I don't know the answer to that question, but I think the movement as a whole is very broad, and it needs to be dialed in a little bit to be effective. There's
stereotypes, and then there's truth to me. Facts will always trump, or, you know.
Where you going with this?
Yeah. All right. Well, here, let me throw another one at you. One of the other hot.
You sent me an interesting article about the Netflix episode or series.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was some.
Well, it was. I can't remember
that hasn't even been released yet.
It hasn't, and there's like over 100,000 people who have petitioned for Netflix to stop showing it. It's basically, I can't remember the name of the show, but it's in regards to.
Fat shaming, mean girls, bullying, that sort of thing.
So, and then jump into how social media, you know, plays into, you know, I mean, because let's be honest, people who post stuff on social media, it's to get likes, it's to get you know, attention, you know, and I actually cringe when someone posts something about, even when they take maybe offend some people, even when people take a picture of their kid and post the picture, what they're really wanting people to look at them first.
It's attention getting, for sure. Absolutely. The Netflix series, I think petitioning to stop it is, you know, I'm a big fan of free speech, even if what you are saying is idiotic and asinine and hurtful. You should still be free to say that thing. And then let the market respond. The market will either support the series or it will not. If no one watches it, if complaints are turned in to Netflix, the petition or whatnot, it won't run. But I don't think the artist that wanted to create that, or the person that wrote it, and the actors that were cast in it, that feel like they're doing something, because it's a slice of life. Life is not all pretty and perfect and wonderful. They feel like they are expressing themselves, and it's a freedom of speech. I don't want to see freedom of speech go away, but I think we can also recognize that it will either be supported or not based on the value of what they put out.
Fair point. Last one to throw at you. One of the other things that I've noticed a lot lately is women who are publicly breastfeeding their kids, but the fallout from that, the people who are offended. What's your stand on that?
I was not blessed with children. I did have 3 miscarriages, so I do have a little bit of reference here. If my child is hungry, I'm going to feed it. And that's that. Some societies, it's no big deal to see women breastfeeding while they're doing other things, multitasking. I think, it's shocking to me that someone would walk past a woman breastfeeding her child, taking care of its nutritional needs, who might be sitting on a bench in the mall in front of the Victoria's Secret poster with double D's in lace, and what's more offensive is the woman feeding her child. That makes no sense to me.
Correct.
But beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and a woman taking care of her children is important. Every culture is different, and knowing how our culture responds to that, I think a little modesty might make it a bit easier on all involved. But I would never tell a woman, how dare you, or be shocked or offended if that's what her primary. I think it's all about intention. Is her intention to shock? I'm gonna plop it out here and breastfeed my child, or is her intention feeding the baby? And I think if that's your intention, then it's going to be done in a certain way that is noticeable. But that's what it's about. It's not about tantalizing anybody that might be looking.
Now, granted, if someone's taking a selfie while they're doing it, probably
that might not fly very well on the old Facebook page.
Great segment.
Thanks.
Anything
Thanks
that
for having me.
didn't talk about that you'd like to throw?
Well, there's lots of things we didn't talk about, but I have a feeling I'll be back.
I'm guessing recurring is maybe a word.
Cameo by guest starring. Let's get the verbiage right. No, it's been really nice to be here. I would love to direct people to Facebook, Creative Life Curator. My name is Kristie Crenshaw. I am taking one-on-one clients at the moment to help you get clear, get creative, and find what that thing is that's missing for any woman. Because again, it may not be. You can have what looks like a great life on paper, but there just might be something there that you think you're missing, and I can help you find it.
Very cool.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I get a fist bump.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Great segment.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. All right, guys, back at it here at Baxter's 942 in the Highlands. Segment 2 tonight. Guest, Ashley Baldwin.
That's correct.
Soul Cleanse Yoga.
That's right.
Yoga. When it comes, yoga is pretty damn popular these
It
days.
is.
You obviously know what yoga's about. I've heard from people who either want to do it or are novice at it, different interpretations of it.
Sure.
I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but yoga, the history of it, maybe not, try not to put you on the spot. It's more of a mental, spiritual type thing that maybe what originated India or something like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right. Keep going.
Okay. Well, I love that you say that, because I think that so many people now, especially in the West see it as a physical exercise, and it really isn't. I mean, it is a physical exercise. We've made it that way at least, but really that tradition is in mindfulness and meditation and in things that are completely opposite of physical exercise. So that's great that you say that. I mean, now that we see a huge trend of it being, you know, more of physical type of flows and more of a physical exercise, but really it is about that meditation, mindfulness. So that's great. You know a lot about yoga, actually.
I know enough to get this conversation started, get this party started. How long have you been doing this?
Yoga or soul cleanse? Both. Okay, so I've been practicing yoga for probably about 15 years, and long time.
15 years?
Yeah, started in college.
Started when you
so-
were like
No.
8?
No.
I mean,
You've never asked
I'm
a-
not trying to
You
start. I'm
never
not
asked a
trying.
woman her age.
I'm
first
not
of all.
asking your age. I'm just being. I'm paying attention. There's no way. No, I can't. No, but no.
College.
Anyways.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so.
And soul cleanse has been around.
Facts are optional on the show, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, don't do your research. But, and then soul cleanse it'll be 2 years in September. So just 2 years.
So what got you into yoga first?
Yoga, you know, college, right? I think that was my first introduction to yoga. And then I grew up in Southern Indiana, went to school at Western Kentucky, and moved to New York City.
Southern Indiana.
I'm sorry?
Southern Indiana.
Southern Indiana, yes. I did. I just admit
I'm
that.
sorry to hear
Are you
that.
recording this?
Yeah.
I don't admit that to many people, but does anybody listen to this?
We do have.
Oh.
We have some listeners. Yeah.
Okay. Moved to New York City, and that is really where I really fell in love with yoga. I was
New York City?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah. I was there for about 4 years and fell in love with yoga. I was training with some of the best teachers, and it just
Was yoga what took you to New York City?
no.
Okay.
I wish
all
I
right.
could say that.
Okay, I was going to say
A guy
that's
took
pretty
me to
damn
New
cool.
York
If it was.
City. Yeah.
It was a guy.
It was a guy that took me to New York City.
All right.
Let's stay on track with the yoga.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, it was amazing. And from there, I don't know how much you know or how much you want to know, but from there, I went to Connecticut and practiced a lot there. And again, trained and practiced with some amazing teachers. And then it was all about yoga. I moved to South America for a year, and I trained there in Costa Rica. And started teaching and taking tons of yoga all over South America.
What led
and
you to?
Central
What took
America.
you to South America?
Traveling. Decided to leave everything behind, quit jobs, everything, and travel for a
The
year.
New York guy too.
Yeah.
You left the New York guy. All
Yeah,
right.
that guy.
Just trying to,
Yeah. And I had a 1-year-old. So that adds
Really?
an interesting element to the story.
So you jetted off to South America
Yeah.
with your
1-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a game changer.
Yeah, right. Could write a book on that alone.
Yeah.
Just traveling with a 1-year-old.
Because
Who does that? Don't
no
do
family. I
No,
mean, it's
none.
just yeah.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was an amazing experience. I'm glad I did it.
You're badass, aren't you? I mean,
I don't know if I would say that, but I have a lot of life experiences to only be 18.
to only be so still be in your 20s.
I'm not in my 20s.
Well then, all right. Take us. When did the Soul Cleanse Yoga? Do you go SCY for short, or how? I mean, how do you
No,
do
Soul Cleanse Yoga.
Okay,
It's the
all right.
whole thing.
All right.
So Soul Cleanse Yoga was Soul Cleanse Panama, actually. It's the history behind it. And the way it was developed and the way I sort of thought about it is I was practicing yoga during this 1-year adventure in Central and South America. I was practicing yoga in some of the coolest places, most beautiful places, tree houses and pavilions on the beach. And it was amazing. And I thought, why can't you take yoga outside of a yoga studio? And what you find is a lot of people are intimidated to practice yoga in a studio. You know, they're speaking a different language. You come in, and unfortunately, we brought competition into yoga as well. I think social media has influenced that a lot. So people are intimidated to come. So why not take yoga outside of a studio, make it fun, add a cocktail, because there is almost always a drink element to these events, and get people on their mat. Meet them where they are. Art museums, we've done, yoga everywhere really. Slugger Field, 21C Art Museum, Speed Art Museum, Copper and Kings.
We're going to get into
Yeah.
the on-site
Okay.
yoga classes or
Yeah,
events that you do, but what with the Soul Cleanse Yoga? What is there a mission statement? What is your
We're really taking community over competition. So, you know, what we're finding is that there's so many studios in Louisville, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You can practice yoga every hour of the day if you wanted to, different studios. But we've brought competition into it. So this is a way that we're completely neutral. So we have teachers from every studio. We have all different types of yoga, all different levels of yoga offered.
When you say competition, elaborate. What's that mean?
Well, I think that physically on your mat, there's competition, like, oh, what can you do? You know, the ultimate handstand, or maybe, you know, we're looking at poses from an aesthetic point of view and not just sort of how you feel in a posture. And then also just, you know, practicing at different studios and not being open to go to other places or try other teachers. So that's what I mean by competition.
Well, how long is typically a yoga, you know, session?
Class, yeah.
Yeah.
An hour or 75 minutes, yeah.
75? Why 75?
I don't know. That's something I don't know. Yeah. Or sometimes 90 minutes.
Really?
I think typically an hour. I think our attention span, you know, is probably about an hour, most classes.
Now, I have to admit, I've not followed yoga.
Right.
I've done my homework for tonight, but I have to admit, I was one of those guys that looked at it like, I get the mental, spiritual aspect. But I've heard the stories about how physical it is too.
It's very, very hard. I mean, of course, this is a huge range, right? And if you like a more gentle flow, a slower pace, you can absolutely find that. If you want to get your ass kicked, you can absolutely find that as well.
Are you an ass kicker? What is it?
I am.
Okay.
I like the physical stuff. I do. I love the mental stuff, and I always teach meditation in classes, but I like to move. I like to breathe. I do.
Okay. One of your sessions.
Yeah.
Give us a kind of a step by step, if you can.
Well, I would say we always start in a seated posture, right? I don't know how familiar you are, so I'm going to walk you through the whole thing.
Please.
You know, you close your eyes, you have a centering. You always want to start yoga with a centering exercise, because what we do is we bring all this chaos from our world onto our mat, and we really have to let that go. So there's a process to do that. And then you get into some gentle postures, and then we start to flow some harder things, maybe some arm balances. And then you end up just the way you started, on your mat, on your back, and then we come up to a seated meditation. So in an hour, it's hard to fit it in an hour. It's very hard, actually. And I always sort of want to have a lecture at the beginning of class also. So I never want you to just walk in and just do the physical stuff. Right. I want there to be, you know, a deeper meaning to class. And
demographic.
It's kind of like therapy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like therapy.
Demographic-wise, is it the proverbial, it encompasses everybody?
It really does. It really does. All ages. Yeah. All walks of life, for sure. And that's the beautiful thing about yoga.
That I agree. But I would say, is it fair to say the older demographic, does that mix okay with a younger?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the word yoga does mean union, and I think that's just one sense of the word.
Union.
Union.
Okay.
That is what yoga means, to yoke.
Okay. You know, facts. So
you should come to class.
I would love to just come out and...
Yeah, come. Friday morning, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, Friday morning.
By the way, that's the hardest class. That's the hottest class, so I want you to be there.
Right. That's a heads up. I'm going to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Now, you do events. You do on-location events. I saw you've got something coming up at Slugger Field. But elaborate. How do you? What's the rhyme and reason on going to all these locations?
Yeah. So when I moved to Louisville, to be honest, it came out of just fear of commitment, because I wanted to open a studio, and I thought, well, I want to take this idea of practicing yoga in cool places, and I want to bring it to Louisville. You know, I was in South America, I was practicing in these great places. So I started a class at Captain's Quarters, which I don't even do it there anymore, but I started Captain's Quarters, and it was on the water, and the way people responded, the way people just fell in love with the idea, I thought, oh, this could be
outdoor.
Yeah, that was outdoor. This could be a thing. And it was never intended to be a career or a full-time job or anything. It has turned into that, and with and I have an assistant now, so it's growing much faster than I ever thought it would. But it's amazing. So we started at Captain's Quarters, and I thought, okay, this could be a thing. So who else can I reach out to in the community who will support this kind of thing? So the Copper and Kings was the second person. So we started doing events there, and I was introduced to our DJ Sam Sneed. I don't know if you've are familiar with him. He's an amazing DJ. I think the best in the city.
Where does he? Because
Everywhere, literally everywhere. There's a beer named after him. He's amazing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah. So we added this other new element of live music, of DJ music, and people started to respond to that. So then we just started reaching out to the community, and
That's a great, if I can use the word not gimmick, but it's a great tie-in.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
So, wow.
It is. If you've never practiced yoga to live music, especially like house music or DJ music, it's amazing.
But that, because in my thing, what's with yoga, I have this sense that the music or the sounds that's tied into it is kind of that
Zen-like.
Yeah.
I know, and you're absolutely right, and that's what you get at a studio.
Yeah.
You get very sort of mellow music, and you're in your element, and it's a beautiful thing. But this is not that thing. This is something completely different. And since then, we have
and that's how you do
and
it.
that's
always.
how I roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
fun. It's so
I'm
fun.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And then we've, silent disco is a huge thing around the country now, and we started silent disco yoga. So we have headphones.
Silent disco.
Silent disco yoga. So
elaborate.
yeah, so we have headphones,
Yeah.
and you wear the headphones, and we have the DJ. You listen to the DJ music through the headphones, and then the
Gotcha.
teacher's mic'd, so you hear the teacher and you hear the music. And this was started. This is not a new concept. It's new to here, but typically in a silent disco event, you have multiple DJs. And you're not just practicing yoga, you're just in a club or something with your friends. And you can sort of pick the DJ that you listen to. And the way we do it, we have one DJ, so you can only listen to one DJ. And you literally just practice yoga with headphones on. And it is truly just another offering and another unique experience. You are in your own little DJ disco world when you have those headphones on.
I'm
So
sure. Wow.
come to that too.
A lot of events, and I like this. I've got the Yoga on the Field event.
Yeah.
Louisville Slugger Field. It's August 17th. It's Friday.
Yeah.
7 p.m. Tickets include a yoga shirt and cocktail.
Always.
Tell me, is that a normal thing with yoga? Because
No,
it looks
this is
like
not
you're
normal. This is not
incorporating food and drink, and I
Yeah.
like that idea.
Yeah.
So
There was some pushback. In the beginning of 2 years ago when we started doing this, people in the community would said, well, should you have cocktail alcohol? Obviously, we're not forcing you to drink, and not everyone does.
exactly right.
But what happens is that, you're not just leaving your yoga studio. You're not just rolling up your mat, putting on your shoes and leaving. You're staying, you're connecting
Right.
with people, you're meeting new people. I can't tell you how many emails and text messages I get saying, oh my gosh.
Are you doing the matchmaking thing too?
It kind of is.
I mean,
Kind
I'm
of is.
really?
Actually, that's a great idea. But with friendships, not
Yeah.
only
Right. No, yeah.
the relationships, but so yeah, it's a great community builder, and that's really what Soul Cleanse is all about: building community and practicing yoga and looking at the spaces that we have in our city in a different way. You probably have never thought about practicing yoga on the field with the Louisville Bats at the Louisville Slugger.
You're on to something.
Yeah.
Clearly on to something.
And we had over 200 people last year. There were about 250 people.
You've done one.
Yeah.
That was last year your first one?
Yeah.
Over 200 people?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so fun.
Good Lord. Do you have an idea? What are you shooting for this year?
I mean, at least that. I mean, maybe 300. Maybe 300. Copper and Kings is sponsoring the event again, so they have a great cocktail that they're offering. It's called a gin tonic.
Called a what?
A gin tonic.
Gin tonic.
So here's what happened. So last year, I love Copper and Kings. So they're amazing. I love their cocktails as well. But they had this super strong cocktail, and it was a Manhattan. So they got typical Manhattan pour was 4 ounces, something like that, and everybody got hammered. And that wasn't the intention. So just if everybody listening to this, the cocktails
at
not
your yoga.
Right. And myself included, I thought this drink is so
was
strong.
that before or after the?
It was, well, it's always okay. Yes, to be clear, the alcohol is after
not
the yoga.
Before. Well,
Yeah,
not before.
not
I know,
before.
definitely not during, but
Right. Well, that is a thing now too. But
are they?
that's
So they like leaning over, sipping.
Yeah. It's more of like tree pose, lift your leg, hold your beer, take a drink. It is a thing.
I have seen that.
Yeah,
No,
it's silly. I don't know. But
you promote that?
no.
No. I'm looking here too. You got the yoga and meditation wine and cheese at River City Winery.
I mean, what else could you ask for?
Genius. I mean, looks and brains here. I mean, you're the total package. I mean, it's.
Thank you.
Wow, Ashley. I mean, is this your full-time gig?
This is what I do.
Very
Which
cool.
is crazy to say because I love it. I love it so much. But
I'm curious. How's your daughter now?
4.
4.
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old.
So,
Crazy. I have a 4-year-old.
You've been, when you were in South America, how long have you been back?
I've been back for just under 2 years. So I started Soul Cleanse immediately, so just under 2 years.
So right when you came back.
Yeah.
But when you say, you kind of are coming home because...
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right.
This is home. I was away for a while, but this is...
But in Southern Indiana was actually...
You have to mention that again.
Well, I mean, that's what you said at first, and I'm just...
My Facebook says Louisville, okay?
I know. Wow. Actually, I'm just blown away. Real quick, what is there? Obviously, with the alcohol, there's probably some type of age. Do you?
Yeah.
So
most events are 21
Okay.
plus, but some events, depending on the space, you can come with not being 21 because a lot of it is an event space. As 21C, for an example, the classes are held in the main gallery, and then the cocktails and the brunch is at proof. So there's we can work around that most of the time.
I like it.
Yeah.
I have to ask you because as we're winding down this segment, I threw an article at you as a joke because it was I follow news on my phone, and this long story. There was somebody I can't remember where, but showed up at a yoga class, a gym or whatever, and he undresses and he goes naked, and his claim was that he thought this was a kind of he thought it was okay.
Right.
And I was like, great topic.
I thought you were serious.
You thought I was serious.
It took me all day to
kidding.
respond.
But
do we have to
then you came back, you threw a curveball at me. You're like, well, you do, or there is naked yoga.
It is a thing.
It is a thing, but it's not.
I'm not going to admit that I do that. But it is a thing, and it's not offered in Louisville. But yeah, hot nude yoga is definitely a thing. And actually, I sort of have a tie into that because my first teacher in Costa Rica was the father of hot nude yoga, and he started the first studio in New York.
Nude yoga.
Yeah, started the first studio in New York City.
When you say hot, is in
it's hot. Well, yeah, they crank up the heat.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, that is a thing. Obviously, this man that did this, I don't think that was right. It was in a public space. They weren't, expecting that. But hot nude yoga is a thing, and I think that it's everything that it sounds like and nothing that it sounds like at the same time.
I just, if you got a room full of adults
Right.
who act like adults, I think that's
Yeah.
possible or doable. But
Sure,
why? There's nothing like that here.
there is not yet. In the future.
When are we going to see
Yeah,
on
yeah.
soulcleanseyoga.com?
Listen.
When do we see that event coming up? Because
You would be surprised how many people have asked me about this. Yeah, more than 20. More than 20.
well,
So,
I'll make 21 then.
Okay,
Right.
21.
Yeah.
Okay, so when if it happens, the future of Soul Cleanse, we could have a physical space of our own one day in the near future. So you never know. We could definitely offer that.
Well, you would definitely be back here to promote that.
Yeah, I would
be. Just because it's new.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, good stuff. Who's the friend? Because she's in the shot.
This is Kim. Oh, she is the shot. This is Kim.
Did she work with you?
No, this is one of my yoga students turned best friends. Yeah, this is amazing. We've had a great adventures together, and I'm so thankful she's in my life.
Real quick, you're a friend. Come here, real quick. Go ahead. I want to get a friend /
oh my gosh, this was not planned.
Not planned, but it's cool. It's impromptu. It's shooting from the lip. It's that's the name. Take the friend equation out of it when you attend one of these events. Try to be
Tell us, Kim.
objective here.
Well, okay. Objective. What do you want to know? How much fun is it?
Fun. Yeah.
It's really, personally, I love yoga, but I try to look at it. I mean, I'm an older practitioner, so I like to see new people coming in because I know what you're gonna
N-E-W, not N-U-D-E.
Nude.
Nude. Wait,
No. Well, I mean, maybe I'd like to see some nude people coming in. It depends on who they are. I'm not quite sure.
Why not? Yeah.
I mean, I'm open. But new people, because I know what it's done for me. It's changed my life.
How long you been doing it?
About 14 years.
Y'all kids. Y'all like start so young and...
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The food, drink, you like that part of it as well? Do you interact when...
Yeah, absolutely.
She's on to something. You really are on to something, Ashley. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
really-
come.
Okay. Well,
Okay. It's super fun. It really is.
It's really neat to meet everybody in the community that's fired up for what we do.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Very cool. Anything that we didn't discuss that you'd like to throw out there?
Well, we also do a festival, and the festival is actually Saturday. So the Soul
This
Cleanse
coming.
Festival is coming Saturday. It's so much fun.
Where's that at?
It's at Farmington. It is an entire day dedicated to yoga, and we really highlight
Really?
the yoga community and have over 15
Like
teachers.
an entire day when
an
you say
entire day,
what's
yeah.
My
and we
birthday.
and it,
the
yeah,
your
it's Kim's
birthday?
birthday.
Okay. Oh wow.
But there are super unique classes that you're not going to find in a studio. We have a CBD oil class where you'll take CBD oil and practice yoga. We have a mala making workshop, which
CBD as in
yeah, this
Yeah.
is just
as
what it's
in,
on.
who knows who's going to get nude?
We're not, there is not
Like
a
the way
new
you
workshop. It could be. We could
no,
have that.
we're on to something here.
Yeah. So just some of our the best teachers in Louisville, and it's an entire day. Vendors, food. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's
Very
all on
cool.
the Soul Cleanse Yoga page.
What's social media? Where can people connect with you?
So Soul Cleanse Festival on Instagram, Soul Cleanse Yoga on Instagram, and also Soul Cleanse Yoga on Facebook. You can
And-
just Google Soul Cleanse Yoga. At this point, you'll
And soulcleanseyoga.com.
and soulcleansefestival.com.
Okay, well. Ashley, great stuff.
Yeah,
It
thank
was
you. Thanks for having
really
me.
interesting
It was fun.
stuff. Kim, thanks for your
Nice to meet you.
cameo, too. Good stuff. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, back at it here at Baxter's 942 in the Highlands. It's the latest shooting from the Lip episode. This is episode 344. 344 of these things. Next segment, my man Kevin Feller. Guitarist. Rhythm guitar? Is that really?
Rhythm guitar.
With Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck, America's AC/DC. Now, I have to admit, Kevin, when I first saw that AC/DC, America's AC/DC, if you didn't know, you guys didn't know, thinking, that's a pretty ballsy statement there. But I know you guys. And when it comes to America, I mean, I think that's a legitimate claim.
Well, it actually came from our booking agent. He was the one that suggested. He says, "I don't want to book you as an AC/DC tribute band anymore." He
Yeah.
said, "I think that you should make it America's AC/DC." So because
I'm curious, has it any other tribute band out there, AC/DC tribute band, like come back and said, "Wait a minute, guys, America's"? No,
we've not had any backlash at all to it, I mean, because I was a little, even myself, I was a little bit, like, I don't know, but I mean, what can I say? I mean, Greg books us, and he's been in the business for a long time. He has his own classic 70s tribute band, and dude, whatever that guy says is golden to me.
it's legit. How long has this band been going?
Well, the current, it's hard to say, because we've had some changes.
All right,
and
well,
stuff.
let's
But
start
since
from when did Thunderstruck, play their first gig?
Thunderstruck really started, when Dave Moody came into the band, and it was probably around August of 2015. That's when we got together and he wanted to rebrand it. We were Riff Raff at the time. We were banging our heads out in the clubs and everything, and he thought it would be a good idea to change the name, rebrand it, and just start fresh because, we were looking from going to be in a bar band to, trying to be a national act. And that's, so.
So Moody, became Dave Moody, the ever charismatic one, joins the band in 2015.
Yes, sir.
So from that point on, was the vision there? I mean, did you think this lineup, this group of guys can really take this out on the road? And
well, I mean, I always did. I mean, even before then, I felt like the band we had was really good, and there was always a few questions in my head about some things and personalities and stuff. But when Dave came into the band, I think it kind of just galvanized things, and like I said, he had some of the connections that we definitely didn't have, and he kind of gave us. We all kind of had to sit down. He was talking things, and talking about here's what we need to do, and it was a thing of everybody needed to buy into it. Everybody had to buy into it, so. That was the whole thing. The rebranding, what we were looking to do. I mean, I remember him telling me, and we laugh about it now because, I had a lot of bar gigs lined up to play, and he come in and says, I want you to cancel that one, that one, that one, that one. We're not doing those anymore. So for me, that was like, are you serious? And, he was dead serious about it. And, I mean, he come in and he told me what he felt like that he could add and do to the band, and he's done everything he said he can do. So
far, so good.
Yeah.
So band members: Dave Moody, vocals; yourself, rhythm guitar; Chris Jones, bass; Caleb White, lead guitar; and Jerry Lawson on drums. AC/DC, you encompass Bon Scott to Brian Johnson. Do you stop there, or do you what's your take on Axl Rose with the band?
You want my honest answer?
Yeah.
With no profanity, of course.
No, you can speak freely on this show.
I cannot stand Axl Rose. I will not.
Ditto.
I will not put a dime in his pocket. I mean, like I said, I'm the old guy in the band. I got to see him with Bon Scott.
Really? Okay.
I got to see the original Guns N' Roses, which I loved. And after I seen what Axl did to that band and the way he disrespected his fans and stuff like that, this was before the AC/DC thing ever came, up. And I was like, I'm done with this guy. I loved when his album came out, Chinese Democracy, and it was Best Buy, only. And it was so great to just see it sit on the shelves. I have to say I love it, but I went and seen AC/DC on the last tour while Brian was still with them up in Detroit. We took the whole band. We all went up there and seen them, and then all of a sudden, they started booking some more dates, and I said, well, get me some tickets for Columbus. But then about the time right before they played Atlanta, this whole thing fell through, and I said, well, I'll hold on to my tickets and see what they're going to do. And because I was thinking, hey, how about Mark Storace out of Crocus, or the singer out of Airborne? I think either one of them, but probably Mark Storace would have been a really good guy to step in. But as soon as he picked Axl Rose, I sold my tickets.
I have to admit, AC/DC, I was a fan of the music with Bon Scott. I wasn't, I was a fan of AC/DC. I wasn't like Bon Scott, was the band or whatever. Brian Johnson comes along, I'm still hanging with those. And the 80s, everything, 80s, 90s, they were great.
Yeah.
With AC/DC, and I know I'm digressing a little bit from your band, but I want to I got to ask you, because when it comes to AC, because they were one of my favorite bands, but this notion, what's your take when it's right now of all, it's just Angus of the original and everyone else. that's not AC/DC. I know Angus is good and he is, a force with the band, but just the one, can you still proclaim it to be AC/DC?
Well, here's what I tell everybody. This is what I think they should do. Now, this is just one man's opinion, and
you're the guest, so
the
mic is yours, brother.
You know how it goes. I just like go out. Brian could go out and do a studio album. Get him in there. Call Cliff. I know he's retired, but I bet he'd come in and do an album. I
know where you're going.
I hate the fact that Malcolm is not there because he's always been my favorite.
He was,
but Stevie, as far as touring and everything, and the last album was pretty good, I thought. And get one of the three drummers. Preferably, I'd like Phil Rudd. But I don't know with all his legal entanglements whether they could get him. But go in and record me a great AC/DC album, and I will be there day one to buy it. Don't worry about touring. I mean, they're old, and like I said, Brian can't tour, Cliff's retired. You just can't go out. I mean, if Angus, I get it. Angus, probably does want to play live. I mean, it's in his blood. He's done it all his life. If it was me, I would be the same way, but just go out as Angus Young and Friends or something, and just don't be AC/DC.
Right, yeah.
I mean, and that's just my opinion.
That's fair.
But I know for a fact if they would just go in there as much as AC/DC as they could be and put out a great album, people would just buy it like crazy.
All right, back to you guys. One thing I know about you guys, there's the tribute bands, and initially, that's how I would guess some people see you guys, as a tribute band. But when you go listen to you guys, if I walk in blindfolded and not knowing who the act is, and you guys start playing, I'm going to say to myself, wait a minute. Is this the real deal? I mean, you guys sound fucking like AC/DC. A lot moody, and but not just moody, but the sound, everything, it's there.
Well, I think that's the best compliment we can have. If you ask me, I would say, well, we're close. But we're not, it's like say, every night we're not AC/DC.
No,
we are the spirit of AC/DC, right. Just like everybody in the room that's at the show is the spirit of AC/DC. We're celebrating AC/DC, and it came. When putting it together, it came from a thing as I would hear bands do AC/DC, and they could do it really poorly, and people still loved it. Mm-hmm. I might not, but a lot of people did. But I think it's like, well, what if, you get the guys together and you really take the time and try to listen to the stuff and play it correctly, because so many times, especially like drums, they overplay it and stuff. And just try to emulate the sounds, try to get it as close as you can, and that's what we've tried to do. And the thing about it is, we're all fans of the band. We all love AC/DC. We're AC/DC heads. And if it wasn't me playing it up there, if it was you, I would be out there watching you do it. Just because I love the music. I mean, it's some of the most high energy. Even for me, I want it. It just energizes me, man, just to listen to it.
Playing in a bar, AC/DC music is one thing, but you going out with your band, America's AC/DC, traveling throughout the Midwest, wherever, and I see the pictures, and I literally see thousands of people at your gigs. I mean, good Lord. I mean, you are, that's not, that's an accomplishment. I mean, you got to credit you guys. I mean, you all have this buzz. I've read things from venues or from locations about you guys, that you played, and a lot of positives. I mean, the reaction of the response to you guys is incredible.
Well, and like I said, man, we go out and we kind of have a mindset, dude. It's just like I said, I go home, I mow my grass, I take my trash out, I do everything just like everybody else, and so does everybody else in the band. And, you know, when we go into a venue, there's no attitudes. There's no negative stuff. You know, we work very hard to be as easy of a band to work with, you know, whether it's production, crew, the owners, whatever, you know. We try to make it as easy as possible for everybody. And you know, as far as the fans go, we love to meet them. We love to talk to them. You know, I feel kind of silly sometimes. People want to take pictures with me or sign autographs, because for me, it's like, well, who the hell am I? You know, and it's like getting on a stage, you know, when we were Surf Ballroom, you know, you go there and that's the place, you know, where Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper played their last show. You know, I stand on that stage and I think, dude, how many greats have played there? You know, like, again, who the hell am I to be on this stage? I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I mean, I feel blessed.
That's respect.
And
That's
I'm
respect.
lucky, and I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing. I mean, I've worked hard. Our whole band's worked hard, and we'll continue to work hard. We just love what we do. I mean, it's a passion. I mean, you know, we do everything we can to protect the product everywhere we go. You know, we want to walk out there and have not one person say anything negative about us, you know, whether it's the show or it's the setup, the tear down, whatever it is, you know, we want everything positive.
Is there go-to places outside of, you know, because I know Dave lives in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, Dave's up in Cincinnati.
So is there, what are the go-to places, you know, within the U.S. that, you know, is that you've gotten the best response or turnout?
Well, you know, I mean, the first time we went to Myrtle Beach, we played the House of Blues. It was the first House of Blues I got to play. We had never played in South Carolina in any way, shape, or form. You know, so I'm looking at this place and I'm thinking, oh, well.
Were you supporting or were you headlining?
We were headlining.
Uh-oh.
And, you know, I'm thinking, okay, we need to they didn't even have the top open. I mean, they kind of have like a pit down there, you know, in front of the stage, and they kind of have the ground level going around, and they have top. Well, next thing, you know, me and Chris had walked out to, there was another building to buy, you know, we were just thrilled to be at the House of Blues, you know, any musician would be. And so we went out to buy shirts, and we just seen people wrapped around this building, you know, and we're like, holy, you know, hell. It's just like, it's crazy. And it just amazed us before, you know, the show. We had sold it out. Wow. And we had never played in South Carolina. We've been to House of Blues in South Carolina 3 times. We've sold it out 3 times.
Good God.
You know, and I mean, it's just every time, you know, I'm going up there, okay, we're going to sell you. Because now it's just like anything less for me is I would be disappointed.
That's my next question. Is that has the you guys 2015, so about 3 years in the running. Where's the bar at with you guys right now?
We're going to take it as far as we can take it. You know, wherever anybody will let us go. I mean, we just got a House of Blues in New Orleans. We're going there next month. It'll be the first time we've gone down there. You know, we're going to Washington D.C. You know, Maryland. You know, we're getting a lot of new cities. You know, Cleveland and. Because I mean, we've been playing all over. I mean, you pretty much take anything east of the Mississippi River, we've just about been in those states, and a little bit over, like in North Dakota, and like I was saying, Iowa. You know, and Iowa was the same thing. I mean, we went to the Surf Ballroom last year for the first time. We just missed selling it out, but I want to show you some pictures after the show.
Please do.
And then this time we went up there to do that. We sold it out, and the people are just amazing there. And then they sent us up to a place called it was Arnold's Park. That's not the name of the city. I can't exactly say it right now because I don't. But I mean, they showed up about 8,000 people out there, and you know, we were doing, I don't know, maybe it shook me all night long. I can't remember, but you know, Dave had them all light up their cell phones, and I mean, you know, immediately I'm taken back to going to concerts at Louisville Gardens, and remembering lighting up the lighters, and it's an amazing feeling, man. And I mean, you know, we just appreciate everything, you know, everybody that supports us. You know, carry the flag for Louisville, Kentucky out there. Let them know that's, hey, this is where we're from. And, you know, we have no, you know, we want to let them know.
You know, and going back to Dave real quick, to give him some props. That dude fucking can command an audience. He's got them from the first note that comes out of his mouth. And then you got what Caleb is all the gestures, the movement is. That's, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
y'all are putting on the show. And then the music itself is, I mean, again, I say, I've heard you guys, I can close my eyes and it's close. I mean, it sounds like, I mean, you really think you're lost in the AC/DC world for a few hours, and it's amazing. I mean,
And that's, you know, and that's really what we want to accomplish. It's kind of like, okay, you know, sometimes we'll say we're in the AC/DC spirit world, and it's like, you know, you go out there and you see the people smiling, they're having a great time, and, you know, they're forgetting whatever kind of stuff they've been through all week, you know, just having a good time. And man, that makes, you know, they make the show. I mean, because they get going, and that just revs us up even more. I mean, I don't care. I mean, even if there's 5 people out there, we're going to give you the show. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're going to give it to you. But man, when you get out there and it's buzzing like that.
Yeah, but that's a reflection. I mean, really, it's a reflection on you guys, because if the audio, you know, it's AC/DC music, it's covers, you know, but the fact that these people, you know, thousands of people are banging their heads and they're just dancing and, you know, having a good fucking time. That's a testament to you guys too. I mean, because, you know, they're hardcore AC/DC fans.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
But, you know, and like I said, it's taken them back.
Right.
And it takes me back, you know, too, because let's say, I mean, you know, I'm the only guy in the band that actually seen Bon Scott live in concert, you know. And, but, you know, it's like, and I've been playing AC/DC stuff since I was in high school, and so, you know, I mean, that's what you want in the end. And I mean, they do. They eat this stuff up. And I mean, you know, I was always, you know, thinking is like, you know, if you're gonna do a tribute to a band, AC/DC was my first choice, because it was like, you know, you never hear somebody say, oh, I hate AC/DC. You might hear somebody say, well, I don't know a lot about them. But, you know, you go like a band like I love Kiss, Motley Crue, and you got people that love them and you got people that loathe them, you know, and you don't hear that with AC/DC.
And then you got people who might not be AC/DC fans, but there's the, you know, Shook Me All. There's a bunch of AC/DC songs that people know and sing to, and, you know, it's.
Oh yeah, they're iconic, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and it's so much fun to play that music, you know. I mean, just
It's heavy, and it's a freaking party.
it is.
It's a party.
It's a big time.
What's real quick before we let you go? Where are upcoming gigs for you guys?
Well, this Friday night we're going to be at the Jeffersonville River Stage.
Right. Yeah.
Now, it has become it was basically our night. We were going to have a warm-up band, but they had contacted us and asked us, because the Louisville Crashers show had gotten canceled because of rain. They asked us if we could do, you know, have them on a bill. So we set up basically a co-headlining thing. So you talk about going to be crazy. I mean, we're going to have our fans there.
Crashers.
They're going to have their fans there, you know, and you know, probably there's a center point where there's fans that like both bands, and then Crashers and us. And
but anyway.
I mean, honestly, dude, I think it's going to be probably like a record-setting night as far as people.
I agree.
If you're coming, I would get there early. I mean, it's a free show.
Yeah.
It's a free show, man. And how fun is that going to be? And I wished I could remember the name of the opening band, but I can't at this time. I apologize.
No, we'll post it. I'll find it.
But for those, I can't imagine for those guys, you know, they're going to get to go up there and probably play in front of the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of. So, you know, it's a cool thing, man. I mean, it's so cool. I'm so blessed to be where I'm at, and you know, like I said, I'll do this. do this till you have to pry that guitar out of my cold dead hands. They can't get me out of there, man.
Kevin Feller, Thunderstruck, man, thanks for coming and hanging out with me.
Thanks for asking me, man. It's been a good time.
Looking forward to hanging out with you guys too. All right, guys, Kevin Hale back here at Baxter's 942 in the Highlands. Next segment, we're gonna be promoting Lacee's benefit, putting out the fire. Got my man here, Perry Scroggin.
That's correct. Yeah.
What's up, man?
Good to see you, bud.
Good to see you. Good to meet you. Lacee Williams is going through this thing. I was doing my research on it. CRPS.
Correct.
Complex Regional Pain Syndrome.
That's correct.
Looks and sounds painful.
She's having a rough time. Keep in mind that a lot of this has come on like a wild banshee.
Yeah, that was the thing too. Is that? Well, elaborate. How soon or how long has she been dealing with it?
Sure. Yeah. Over the past, she had been having battles with fibromyalgia, vasovagal, IBS, and she's had rounds and rounds of bouts with severe vertigo. We could be standing in a spot and she could just fall over onto the floor and pass out. Yeah. So recently, she'd been diagnosed with CRPS, and as you just stated, it's a nasty disease. She's currently in a treatment center down in Arkansas. Yeah, and we stay in close contact with her.
How's her spirits right now?
I'm sorry?
How's her spirits? I mean, just her mindset right now.
Well, that's a tough spot. It's a tough question. Her mom and I, we've been on the phone with her, back and forth. I'll just tell you, she had to leave her home, her family. She had to leave her job. Of course, the band that she's in a band here in town. Been a performer for about a decade in the city. The band's Killer Lips.
Killer Lips, right?
Yeah, and she's so going down there and having to do all this. She's a tough gal.
Now, is she by herself? Is anybody there?
She's by herself.
Oh, wow.
She's her boyfriend is popping in. He's a pilot for UPS, so he does pop in and check on her. We're going to try to get down there after this event. But you asked her really the big question. She seems to be very tough, but you can see that it's beginning to take its toll on her, because she, every day it's a new phone call and a new situation, as you can imagine.
Now, staying with the CRPS, real quick, just so people can get an idea on what we're dealing with here. There's two types, type 1, type 2. Type 2, from what I understand, is the most severe, where there's nerve damage and stuff.
Correct.
What's her situation there?
We're still this is still in what we call the infant stages.
Okay.
The diagnosis, they're still trying different treatments to see what's working and what's not. She'll have good days and bad days based on those treatments. So right now, I think that's still that's the verdict hasn't came in yet.
Okay.
They're still on a daily. She's got 10 weeks of these treatments. That's the startup. We're in week number 4 now, we have just passed week 4 on Monday.
Okay.
And so, wonderful question. I appreciate you asking that, because that's why I said she's a tough gal. And this was a decision that she decided she had to do. She felt like it was going to be the right thing, talking to folks. And what's happening, just to elaborate on that question even more so, is that now, with the severe pain, it feels like your body, just to give you an example, is on fire. It feels like your insides of it's your central nervous system, your peripheral and central nervous system, makes you think that it's sending pain signals. And so your body constantly feels like it's on fire. And then also accompanying that, it could be in a regional area. It could be in your knee, in your foot, in your leg. It's usually your limbs. And so caused by an injury. So with that being said, it can swell, and the swelling can have redness. She sent us a picture just last night, and one of her legs is swollen, and her feet have swollen to where you cannot walk. So that's where we're at this moment in time. So every day, like I said, is we're finding new things, and we're learning. As I'm trying to explain to you, we're finding out new details as we go.
All right, gotcha. Of course, we wish her the best during this time. It's my understanding she is going to be in town Sunday for this event. So she'll be coming in Sunday, or okay. When it comes to the Louisville music scene, Lacee, obviously Killer Lips, she's is a part of the Louisville music scene. But when it comes to fellow musicians, this town is so good in stepping up for a cause.
Absolutely.
And this event coming up on Sunday, Diamond Concert Hall on Barrett Avenue, 2 to 11. You've got the who's who of musicians there, bands there. So you've got so much talent that is coming to, give their time and energy for Lacee. What's it been like in getting this all together and the response from the music scene here?
It's been amazing. I'll just tell you in a nutshell that I come from the background of music. My whole life as I've been on the road traveling in a band, and I was able to meet a lot of people here as a young guy running around playing music myself. And I became the GM at the Toy Tiger and ran the facility there for quite a while. I was in a band called Fire Department, so I got to meet a lot of people in the music scene here. And I saw this back during my era of the music, but I have never seen so much love and so much camaraderie as I have seen today. I'll tell you that some of the folks, just to give you an example, Mark Maxwell, I'll throw that name out. He was the first to pick up the phone and call us and said all he said was what can we do to help? And I didn't have to call him. And so that's been kind of the feel that we've been getting. And not to mention that, but the charity organizations, Shirley's Way and Musicians Emergency Relief Fund, MRF, along with numerous sponsors that have stepped all up. These are folks that I grew up with, and they've never been so more gracious than they are today.
Real quick, just some of the bands from Paris, the Crash, your Louisville Crashes, Mary Soul Circus, Kim and Doug, The Echoes, Wax Factory, Mr. Ryan Murphy, Radiotronic, Shane Dawson. There is the All-Star Jam, obviously Killer Lips, who Corey, what is Corey's?
Singer.
Yeah, the singer.
Yeah.
She's stepping in to Port. Yeah.
Port.
Yeah. So, so right now Killer Lips are still doing their gigs.
Yeah.
But 2 to 11, you got all $10 minimum donation. You got a VIP package as well. Auctions. What else can you share on that?
Yeah, sure. We've had some things donated from Mom's Music. We got a drum set, a full drum set. We've got we're doing we got a 6-string Yamaha we're having for the auction. We've got a 12-string that we've got. A lot of Budweiser's really stepped up and have brought some things to the table. We've got some U of L packages. We've got some UK packages, bourbon things, margarita display buckets, and jewelry. So many things. I think I've lost count of what we've got. Some Mint Julep Tours has put together a bourbon trail tour, and just quite a bit of detail. I will elaborate and say that so many. There's a whole lot going on. U of L has also stepped up, and they've sent over the mascot, the Louisville Cardinal bird. So
really?
They could be hanging out and doing some pictures, and we're just looking forward to seeing a lot of faces. I've been blessed to Terry, Lacee's mom's been really helping me out and keeping me grounded, because we've been trying to do double duty with work and putting this together. So it's taken a little time to get it going. I will tell you that right now we're ready to go. I think it's going to be a fun time.
That was my next question. What's pretty much left for you between now and Sunday?
Well, Lacee's got a special song that she's wanting to sing for everybody.
So she will be performing.
She's going to sit on a stool, I believe, and she's going to sing. Some things are a little bigger than you and I and life here, and she's looking for answers and help. And she picked a song that I think is going to be very appropriate for this particular moment. And so I've been editing video and putting that along with her vocal, and so we're going to do some pretty cool stuff on that night. So
very cool.
I think it's going to be very special.
Mama, you're here. I got to ask, how are you doing? I'm sure. I wish you guys the best. Social media. We're I know everything else on Facebook. Where else can people connect with you guys on social media?
Actually, as far as people that we don't know, obviously Facebook has been another blessing. We're able, but the reach of so many people that we've connected with over this period of the last 6 weeks has been amazing. So I think that. Other than it's almost been a network where that you send it out and then they send it and then they send it, and before you know it, we've got a massive amount of interest. It's coming together.
Yeah, it really goes without saying when it comes to, again, the music scene here. They take care of their own.
Oh,
and you can obviously with the bands that are all the music acts that are a part of this. Just another event where these guys, it's like I said, it goes without saying that they just want to do what they because they know people would do it for them too, and it's again it's amazing how much support the local musicians here and the local music scene here. I mean, it's I'm gonna be there Sunday, and so yeah, I mean it's good. I hate, obviously we hate that we're doing these type of events for for someone who I know, Lacee's sweetheart, always been, we've always had we have a good relationship, and I hate seeing someone like dealing with something like this.
Oh yeah.
What's getting back to her? What's the what's long term? What are we thinking? I mean,
that's a great question. We say that every day. Being where we're at this moment, we're hoping that she has a result from the treatments, because if it's caught early, it can go into remission. And so with that being said, we're hoping that is going to be the case. If not, Dawn G reached out to me a week ago and shared some very important information as perhaps the next step.
And Dawn she's dealt with that too, right?
Dawn has had so many battles.
Yeah, right.
I've never met someone incredibly pure as she is. But she called us.
Yeah.
Don't know us,
Right.
as you can imagine, and
awesome.
she gave us some good information, and we're gonna see where this takes us to help her, not just with the treatments, but financially,
Right.
as well. Yeah.
All right, guys. Again, Sunday, July 29th at Diamond Pub Concert Hall, 630 Barrett Avenue. It's 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Putting Out the Fire. Hope for Lacee. It's Lacee Williams, the benefit. Perry, thanks for coming out and hanging with us and sharing the information. From me to you guys and to Lacee, I wish you guys nothing but the best. Anything that we could do here to help, put the word out. Just let
We're
me know.
doing it right now.
All right.
Thank you,
I'll
brother.
Keep doing it. All right. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
What's that mean?
It's a
Anchorman.
warm up. It's a vocal.
Ron Burgundy. Yeah, How Now, Brown Cow.
Oh,
Unique New
Unique
York.
New York.
Unique New York.
I don't know if I've seen it, the Ron Burgundy movie.
Anchorman?
You've never seen it?
You have never seen.
not.
Oh my God. We're
No, we're done. We're done here.
I'm not a big.
We're leaving
Will-
right now
Will
and going to watch
Ferrell.
Anchorman.
Yeah. Though I love Step Brothers.
Okay.
Well, then it's the
You
same
would
type
love
of humor.
Anchorman.
Yeah.
God, it's
love
one
There's
of the
so many
funniest
one-liners,
movies
yeah.
ever.
It's funny.
Jake killed a guy. Stabbed a guy with a trident.
I saw that.
I have an announcement. Cannonball.
All right. All right, guys. Kevin Hale here, bringing it back to you from Baxter's 942 here in the Highlands. It's been a full night of guest segments and all this good stuff, but once again, for the cause. This coming Sunday, July 29th, is these guys are doing their best Hulk Hogan in person. Yeah. July 29th, this Sunday, brother. 5th annual Country for the Kids. 5th annual. Jake, you were on.
crazy.
Jake, Charlie, and Eddie. Eddie is. I was just watching like one of those, Vacation. So anytime now,
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie.
Yeah, I get that often.
Yeah.
That's how we see him as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Shooter's full.
Jake, you're kind of the mastermind on, so I'm gonna let you just get started. Talk
the
about
mastermind.
and then point to each other. I think really, I probably could take my headset off and just walk away. I mean, go for it.
Yeah, so 5 years, like you said, which is crazy to think that it's been 5 years. Like I think back and I'm like, damn, I did that. We had that one and this one, and here we are 5 years later, and it started with Eddie shooting me a message like, hey man, I know you have a band and we're looking to raise some more funds this year. Would you be interested in, like doing a little benefit? And I was like, yeah, I've never done anything like this, throw something together. 2 weeks later, we had a show, and I got Cuzzo over here to host
Really,
it.
Cuz?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's true.
And he had, I think back then you had just like really started like getting your feet wet in the
Well, I've been in
comedy
comedy
stuff.
10 years. Thanks, Jake.
he just started getting funny 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
That is true.
People, stop heckling him and started clapping for him and laughing.
So I was like, hey man, I'm doing this benefit. I was like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Do you want to come host the event? He's like, I have no idea how to do that, but yeah, let's do it. So threw a couple bands on. It was Wildwood, of course. David Whitney and Blaze Streets.
That was the first one.
That was the first
Number
one.
one.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
Yeah, had a blast.
Great.
Had a good turnout, and we raised $1,000, and I was pumped. And I was like, "How much money we raised?" I was like, "We got $1,000."
Was that what it Wicks too? Have all of them?
Yeah, all of them have been at Wicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wicks in New Albany.
And
State Street.
yeah, I feel like I've told the story like 100 times, but yeah, like I was so pumped. I was like, "How
Because
many
you've
kids
been
did we
on this
send?"
show 100 times.
Yeah. And he's like, "We send one kid to camp," and I was like, "Just one?" I was like, $1,000, damn it! So I was like, well, back to the drawing board, and Eddie's like, "Hey, that's one more kid than was going, previously to that."
Exactly.
So my goal every year has been to try to send as many kids as we can, and so coming up on our 5 years, we've hit just under $25,000 for a standing total. So that's my goal this year, is to match that, and which is, I feel like it might be a high number, but hey, I think we can do it.
I think so.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? And then there's cousin Eddie Bobbitt, who is with Camp Quality Kentuckiana, which is honestly, probably the most awesome, charity event or organization here in town. But again, Eddie, real quick, because you've been on 99 times. Well, how many? Give us what is Camp Quality?
Yeah. So for those who are not familiar with Camp Quality Kentuckiana, we are a year-round support program and summer camp for local children dealing with cancer. Our camp is a part of a national organization called Camp Quality USA. So there are other camps within the region and nationally. There's one in Texas, one in Louisiana, New Jersey, Illinois, Ohio. But Kentuckiana, we're the biggest. We had 95 kids this year, and our kids range when it comes to treatment. So kids range from 5 to 16, and some of them are survivors, some of them are in active treatment, but we try to forget all that and let them be kids. And unfortunately, we all have a story when it comes to cancer, and no kid should have to go through this, and no family should have to go through this. So whatever we can do as an organization to create opportunities for these kids just to be kids again, and to be to be a support network of the family, like that's what we're about. So that's only possible through different fundraisers that we do, including Country for the Kids. So, this year our theme was Camp Derby Festival. Had 95 kids out, and it was a blast like it always is, and we're able to continue to increase programming. I took over about 5 years ago with the fundraising and the whole directing stuff. And at that time, we had 58 kids and families that we were serving. And now we're over 100. And
It's awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. And it's unfortunate because of the demographic that we serve, but it's until there's a cure, there's camp. So we're going to continue to keep doing as much as we can for these kids and continue to do as much as we can for these families because they deserve it. Whatever we can do and then some.
Let's bring in your cousin real quick. How does he fit in all this?
That's a hard act to follow.
Yeah, he's the funny guy. He's the funny guy.
So Charlie is back this year to host the 5th annual Country for the Kids. We're glad to have him on, and he's had a lot of great stuff going on this past couple years with comedy, and just launched a new video that's hilarious. Be sure you all go on to YouTube, check it out.
We'll add that.
Keep your voice down.
Yeah,
What's a Charlie?
keep your voice down, or you'll wake up my mom. Like that's all you need to know. Just look at, and you might see a familiar face besides
Really?
Charlie
There may be a cameo.
in the video. There might be a little cameo at the end. So.
Nice. Now, with this event, you said 25K. Strive for 25.
Strive
is
for
the
25.
hashtag Strive for 25.
That's right.
What's the secret? What's the plan? How are you going to possibly hit the 25?
So, my first ingredient in the formula was to put some of the most talented people I could on this show, and being in the music scene around here for the last 10 years, I have met so many super talented folks, and man, just to have them come out and support the cause and support my charity event that I do every year means the world to me. And I mean, we got such a great lineup, and they're coming from. You got Noah Smith from Cincinnati, Kentucky Dirt Band. Those guys are from like the mid part of Kentucky. Jericho Woods from Irvington, and those guys are just knocking it out of the park. And Rolling Stones magazine top 10 country acts to watch for 2018. You got Dustin Collins, who just signed with Average Joe's. He just launched a video on CMT today.
The dodgeball team?
What is it?
Average
Joe's? Oh, no. It's
okay. I'm not familiar with the country lingo.
Great with dodgeball. No, Average Joe's is a
Vince Vaughn's a really good dodgeball player.
Yeah.
He's right.
and a great producer, apparently.
Getting Ben Stiller in that thing, too. Yeah.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah.
But, no, Average Joe's is, I don't know if you're all familiar with Colt Ford. Brantley Gilbert was on that label. Montgomery Gentry's on that label.
Yeah.
A lot of good names, and Dustin's, he's had a ton of stuff come up this year. He's really been knocking it out of the park as well. We have Josh Logan and Olivia Hinken, who are on The Voice. They have a new group with Olivia's sister Lindsay called The Mixers.
Right. Yeah.
We have Allison Bray, who was also on The Voice, great friend of mine. She's they got a fairly new band, so they'll be playing as well. David and Whitney, who I mentioned, were on the first.
They got
for the kids.
They're a new band name, right? They go by another.
They have a new band name called Midnight Nude.
Midnight Nude. Yeah.
They've been on CMT. They got a new album coming out. It's really good.
Great people.
Bogart.
Great people.
Bogart's on it.
With this full band, right?
Full band,
Yeah,
Bogart.
yeah.
And then you have my new group,
Drum roll.
Revival, who I think last time we were here we didn't release who it was.
You gave me the tip. Not
Just
the
barely
whole
put
thing.
it in.
Yeah.
But now that it's out, we actually started pre-production on our album tonight, and we'll be releasing a single probably towards the end of October. But this will be our first show, and we're pumped. We've been
Debut.
Yeah, we've been writing a lot of good stuff, and to debut it at the Country for the Kids makes it even more special. So we're hoping a bunch of people come out for that. And we got a lot of great sponsors backing us this year. We got some great items up for bid, which I just got the word from Q103 today. We'll have some Keith Urban and Kelsey Bellarmine tickets we'll be giving away.
Nice,
So
Nice.
that'll
Cool.
be good. That's the Graffiti U tour. Keith Urban's tour this year has been huge. So those guys will be in at the Yum Center in October. So that'll be a fun concert to come out and bid on that. Pay lots of money for it.
Now, you guys this morning were on. Share that.
Yeah, we were on Great Day Live. We got up at the a little bit before the ass crack of dawn, I believe, and then find out that they moved Great
It's like
Day
till 10, right?
Great Day Live till 10.
Yeah.
We used to have to be there like 6. So I got up like super early,
Right.
and even the news people weren't there yet. So no, but it was a lot of fun. Love the crew at WHAS, Sam and Angie, Terry Miners, all those guys are
Love
awesome.
Terry.
They are so connected with the Louisville music scene too,
Absolutely.
especially with these events and
They
stuff.
and Holly too. She was our coordinator with all that. She, I reached out to her and was like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Would you guys, could we do something, get on?" And right away she was like, "Absolutely." So they brought us on, and Angie said, she's been a big supporter of some of the stuff we've done lately, and I know she was a big Wildwood fan. So she's coming out Sunday, and
was
yeah, was. But she's coming out Sunday. She's gonna be buying a new Revival T-shirt. No, but
was
yeah, those guys are great to work with, and like I said, big supporters of Camp Quality and Country for the Kids, and it was an eventful morning.
also
My bud over here, Eddie Bobbitt, saved the day, so I had Lyric with me.
yeah.
And
no Sierra.
no, Sierra was there too.
Okay.
Yeah, she was there.
We brought them out.
I was
And,
gonna say you brought in no backup. Wow, I was like, you are.
I was gonna try to get Lyric on. We weren't sure how the segment was gonna go,
Mm-hmm.
how much time we would have, and since it was Country for the Kids, I figured why not bring a kid?
Sure.
But,
Makes sense.
So like we're getting ready to go on, and I'm Lyric's sitting on my lap. We're sitting in the green room, and we're just hanging out, and all of a sudden I feel something warm on my
No
side, and I
way.
look down, and Lyric, like, she's seriously never peed on me since she's been born. We've made it 10 months, and she pees on me
Through the diaper.
3 minutes
Right.
through the diaper
Yeah.
right before we go on. Luckily, Eddie had some amazingly comfortable camp quality 2018 T-shirts in his trunk.
So it turned into a promo.
There you
Ready?
go.
Yeah. It worked out. It worked out.
So
Is it,
It worked
the,
out.
the blue shirts?
Yeah,
You already got those?
Yeah.
well, this was the actual shirt from camp this year
Okay,
for
got
their Kentucky Derby theme, and yeah, he saved the day with a T-shirt, and like I said, it's super comfortable. So I added to my collection.
Super comfortable. Quick shout out sponsors: Q103, Wick's Pizzas, Sewer
Insurance Group.
Insurance, Greenhead Lawn Care, United Dynamics, Camp Quality Kentuckiana, Huey Designs, Derby Parrot Heads, Lead Dyke. Is that what?
Lead. I think it's Dyke. It's our local FOP in New
FOP.
Albany. It's all the New Albany police guys.
And the music store. Where's the music store? Is that
The music store is in Clarksville.
Clark, right, yeah.
Greg Stark's a good buddy of mine. I actually bought my last kit from him. And, yeah, he's a big supporter of a lot of local stuff, especially in the music scene, and great dude to work with. And yeah, with Sewer Insurance Group and Huey Designs, those guys have been there 4 years now. Sons of the American Legion, this is their 4th year on with us. Q103, this is their 4th year. So it's awesome to have, you know, that solid support system throughout the years. I mean, it's huge. Like to just have that foundation
Right.
every year to be able to get rolling with, you know, with the event T-shirts and shout out to 502 Apparel who's doing our shirts again for the 2nd year. We did them. They did them last year, and every year our shirts have gotten better and better. And last year we went with them, and
I like the.
we still see people wearing. Eddie was talking about how comfortable the shirts were, and people wear them all the time. I'll be walking around, you know, I'll be at the mall or something, and I'll see somebody with a Country for the Kids shirt. So that's super cool.
Very cool.
And I think, if I can jump in here,
Please.
I think that's one of my favorite parts about this event is that Camp Quality Kentuckiana, we are a local nonprofit serving local children and family that are impacted by pediatric cancer. And then, you guys good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
good?
we're good.
All right.
And
So,
then
It's cousins.
so
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah, don't mind us.
Beavis
Very
and
close
Butthead
family.
right
back
here.
to what I was saying
The
is
2018 version.
it's incredible to see a local nonprofit being supported by local musicians, local comedians, local businesses are supporting it, and it's just this rallying for these kids and these families. And again, that's one of my favorite aspects of this game, or of this event, is that, of course, corporate sponsors, major corporate sponsors, we appreciate you. If you want to support our event, give us a call. We'll gladly have you on board. But this is a grassroots effort, and it started as a Facebook conversation, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's only because of Jake's vision of the event, and for people wanting to just jump in and support these kids and these families, because, like I said, they deserve it.
And again, Wick's Pizza is the venue, the location over
Yeah,
at
and,
New Albany State Street. Not to be confused with that other pizza place that's dealing with a lot of controversy.
Yeah, and shout out to Wick's, because they don't want to get all the credit for all the support that they do show Camp Quality. But not only do they provide the venue for Country for the Kids, but at camp Wednesday night, they bring pizzas for the entire camp.
That's awesome.
We're talking about 250 people.
That's awesome.
And just no questions asked. How many pizzas you need? We're on our way.
I'm like craving a big.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, they've been on with us every year for Country for the Kids, and this year they're donating a portion of their proceeds to the camp. So
Okay.
make sure you come out Sunday, get something to eat, support those guys. They have great pizza.
Yes.
It's a great venue, great
$10
staff.
at the door. It is family friendly.
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So kids
all
under
ages,
12.
kids under 12 are free. Everybody else, $10 at the door. We'll have event T-shirts for sale as well, and I promise they'll be comfortable, and you'll want to wear them every day
And at night.
and at night, even at nighttime.
Even at night. Is this, you're emceeing or whatever, but
Yeah.
is there any comedy? Is there a routine you're going to,
Well, this is for charity, so I do it absolutely free. I think that's why they've gone with me for like 4 out of the 5 years. But
Was it the one year you were going to charge and they decided
Well, it was a scheduling conflict.
Okay.
I feel like Jake was like, this guy, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
to
last
me?"
year he was
Yeah,
like,
it
I'm going to need $50. I said,
Yeah.
we're booked, man.
Yeah.
We're going to have Kevin
Not
Hale
the
do it.
case. Not the case. I think it's a great cause. I love that so many talented people are coming together for a great cause, and I love being a part of it. I love that I can do something that helps in some little way, even if it's hosting. You know, I'm honored to be part of the show.
Like Eddie was talking about earlier, there's so many local ties with Country for the Kids.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking with Paul, the bass player from Jericho Woods, this morning in the green room, and Paul and Eddie had never met, but like, was it their neighbors or somebody?
Yeah, Paul's related to a family that puts on a rodeo down in near Litchfield, Kentucky, called Country for the Kids. And he's like, yeah, my family's with Country for the Kids. I'm like, what? What are the odds of this? Like, this Camp Quality family keeps getting bigger and bigger. But yeah, it goes back to that local ties, again, supporting these
6
kids.
degrees of the music scene.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these kids,
Exactly.
they're your neighbors, they're their family, and anybody can be impacted by this. And just to know that kind of support system is out there, these kids are in the fight of their life, and they have somebody to kind of lean on if they need help. And not only that, man, if you come out to the camp, which I've been booked like the past couple years, but a few years ago, Eddie had me up for the talent show, and man, like that is, you looking for something that will just fill your heart up. I mean,
You were involved in the talent show?
No, he came
No,
out.
you just came
I
out.
just
I was
sat
going to
in
say,
the
well,
crowd.
what was your talent?
I just sat in the crowd,
You did
man.
pretty good.
I just bought a tambourine, and
He
then
brought the
I did-
recorder and played Hot Cross Buns. And we
did
cheered
this-
for him. We cheered for him. He did great. He did awesome.
I'll tell you what, man. The kids get up there, and each of them have a different talent. Like some of them sing, some of them dance. Like one kid did a hula hoop, and I think he only got like one thing around, but like you would have thought he hit a 3 in like the NCAA championship. Like the whole crowd went nuts, and it's like the level of support and love that's up there at the camp is just unreal.
And I want to add something to that. The first year, I remember, this is one of my favorite moments of doing this Country for the Kids so far. Is it Dave and Whitney? Is that their name?
Yeah. What's it?
So yeah,
David Whitney and Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
She came up and wanted to sing a song, so they welcomed her on stage and kind of sat back and played with her while she sang the song. And it was one of those moments that you're like, man, this is a great thing. Like, this is going to be cute. But the thing is, like, not only was it a great moment and a cute thing, she was really, really good.
She killed it.
Yeah.
And she was only, what, like 12 maybe?
I would say 13 or 14.
Okay, yes.
Now,
Such a heartfelt moment, man.
you want to feel old? Lindsay's
We were just talking about this earlier
Lindsay's in
today.
college now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's, like 13, and she's like, can I sing a song? And David Whitney, like, who are like two of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. Of course, so they're like, yeah, come up. And like, she sang, and there wasn't a dry eye in the whole place.
man.
Everybody was like,
So emotional. That's so I managed to get a picture of that, and it's you literally see Dave and Whitney just smiling ear to ear, and her singing, like, such a great moment.
Yeah, it was a great moment. And now that Eddie was telling me that she came back as a companion for the camp this year.
Oh, it's great.
So it just, it's kind of, you kind of see it full circle. She's still serving, and she was once one of the kids that were getting help, and now she's giving back, and that's how a lot of the companions are. A lot of them were previous campers, and
Yeah, I mean, not. I know we're having a good time and we're joking around, so not trying to get deep and break the fun here, but like when you look at the statistics, it's alarming. Every 3 minutes, a child is diagnosed with cancer.
It's crazy.
And not to get on a soapbox here, but the National Cancer Institute only dedicates 4% of their national budget to pediatric cancer. 4%.
I did hear that.
So, and then the kids that do survive this horrible disease, 2/3 of those have other chronic health conditions that have come up because of the radiation and treatment. So, That's why we use the word dealing with cancer. So our kids who, even if they've beat it, maybe there's other issues, maybe there's not, but we just want to be here for them and be that support network in camp, outside of camp, whether it's just being there for them as they go through life or just going to camp and throwing a pie at each other's face. Just let them just have that avenue to be kids again.
There you go.
And this year was a tough year for the campers. Eddie can fill you in a little bit more on that, but that's why we, not only is it the 5th annual, but after they had a loss of one of their kids that were, how long did he go to the camp? I know he's there for several years.
He was there for 12 years.
Oh, no.
And so we really want to, celebrate his life and honor him and help raise a lot of money and just, wild. What was the term you used?
Wild
out.
Yeah,
That's what they were doing at the camp.
Wild out.
Yeah, so everybody come out Sunday, 12 to 8, Wick's Pizza, State Street. Support local music, support local businesses who are supporting this local nonprofit.
Once again, just digressing a little bit, segment for you guys. It was another benefit going on this coming Sunday, promoting that as well. But again, just it goes without saying, the Louisville music scene, the Louisville area music scene, how they freaking step up. I mean, in a moment, they just will do what they have to do to help their own, and that's so cool.
Yeah, I love that it's a tight-knit group around here, and anytime that someone's in need or there's a charity event, everybody just steps up to the plate, and they don't mind coming out and playing some tunes and raising money for a great cause.
Yeah.
Very cool. Between now and Sunday, guys, what's anything major left to?
Thursday morning, Eddie and I.
Because I'm thinking this is your chance. If you all have forgotten something, now's your chance to try. Oh yeah, we gotta.
No one asked us that yet.
Yeah.
Luke Bryan won't be there Sunday. Unfortunately, he can't make it.
What was real quick? I'm gonna digress. Was it you when there was something that was going on? I want to say you were. It was a Wildwood. Back when that band existed. Wildwood was playing, and we did something to Claire, my daughter, where we said that someone was going to be there, and it was a joke, but she thought they were really going to.
Nickelback.
And she was excited.
Yeah.
We posted.
Really? They're going to be.
Posted that Nickelback was going to open up for us at Baxter's.
That's not how you get a crowd.
And
that's the opposite.
Claire was like, "Holy shit! Did you see that post?
I got Nickelback. Dad, is that real?" And I was like, after I was like, I'm not going to answer that question. Let me defer this to you. Jake.
She was devastated when she found out it was just
Why
us.
do you do this to me, Dad? I mean, you said it. All right, so between now and Sunday.
So Thursday morning, Eddie and I will be waking up early again, and we'll be on Q103 with Dingo, and
with the dry shirt.
With a dry shirt.
No lyric.
I think I will. You know what? I might bring her because it's on the radio, and she could just pee away.
I like how Eddie's like,
No, definitely bring her. She's much cooler than you and I, so we'll let her
seriously, everybody went crazy over her this morning, and I'm surprised she didn't make it on TV. If she was still awake, she fell asleep right as we were going on. But
to be fair, I also piss myself when I'm on television, so I understand Lyric. I'm here for you, Lyric.
Oh yeah. But so we're on with Dingo, and like I said, shout out to Q103. Those guys have been so supportive every year. They've donated a ton of tickets and did radio promo for us for the past 4 years, and they always step up, with the charity stuff if something's going on. And Dingo's a nut, and I love him to death. I can't wait to go hang out with him, so it's gonna be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, and if you're looking more information on the event, on Facebook, 5th annual Country for the Kids event, simple search will get you there. And if you're looking for more information on Camp Quality Kentuckiana, campqualityusa.org/KI. Charlie, anybody's interested in looking you up, they can find you.
www.thefunniestcomedianlive.com/Charlie/Walker/Louisville/ what's a Charlie? Just what's a Charlie? Any social media platform, that's my calling card.
That is the question. What's a Charlie?
What's a Charlie?
we're
You'll
gonna
find out.
You know what? We're going to find out on a soon-to-be segment here. You're going to have your
Awesome.
own segment.
Sweet.
Without
Yes.
Jake
Now that I've
interfering.
introduced you
God.
all,
Yeah.
you can run with it.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, once again, Kevin, really appreciate you always having
always.
us on
Yeah, always,
and supporting
First time.
local
It's
music,
cool.
supporting Camp Quality, and support the Country for the Kids event.
Yeah, Shooting for the Lip is this number 3? 3 years you've
We'll
supported?
say at least 3. At least 3, maybe. Yeah.
It would have been 4 if I would have met him sooner, but
Yeah.
3 years. You guys have supported
It
us,
would
so
have been.
appreciate that.
Yeah, right.
So go on Facebook, like you said, find our event page, look up all the artists, like their pages, follow them.
Mm-hmm.
All their music's on iTunes, Spotify, any of your outlets out there. Charlie's got a new video on
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah,
and
it's
Vivo.
there.
It's hilarious. Like it, share it, watch it again.
Jake will actually take a shot for every $20 you donate. So let's make that happen.
Oh, cool. I'll do it. I'm not a drinker.
Every
but I
20
will do it.
bucks.
I'm not a drinker.
I have 300 to kick it off. Let's do this.
Nice.
And if anybody can't make it to the benefit and they want to donate, there's information about that on the event page, or you can always go to the Camp Quality website.
Right.
Track down Eddie Bobbitt or myself. You can message us on Facebook. Just don't be afraid to reach out to us. We'll come meet you if we have to.
Including you, Nickelback.
yeah, and Claire.
Luke Bryan.
Yeah. 5th annual Country for the Kids, Sunday, July 29th at Wick's in New Albany, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Great cause. $10 at the door. Kids free. It is family friendly. Come out and support a very good cause. Charlie, Jake, and Eddie, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man.
Mi casa, su casa.
We'll see you Sunday.
Show.
Yes, sir.
I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.